The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Why dost thou sit upon my grave and will dead lips to speak? Why dost thou weep upon my grave and will not let me sleep? My breast it is as cold as clay, my breath is earthly strong, and if you kiss my cold clay lips, your days they won't be long. How oft on yonder grave, sweetheart, where we were wont to walk, the fairest flower that e'er I saw has withered to a stalk. When will we meet again, sweetheart? When will we meet again? When the autumn leaves that fall from trees are green and spring up again. How oft on yonder grave, sweetheart, where we were wont to walk, the fairest flower that e'er I saw has withered to a stalk.
Welcome to the spirit world with your boy, Twitch.
Hello, my friends. Welcome to the spirit world. I am, of course, your host, your boy, Twitch. I know I've gotten a lot of questions over the past few weeks about how I'm getting this and finding this info, and why am I focused so much on Richmond and this particular group of dead. Honestly, I can't say. I don't control what the spirits show me. I don't control what they tell me. But needless to say, I'll report what I can find. Okay, I'm getting... See, again, we're back to Richmond. It seems these dead that I've... Hang on. Yes. These dead I've been talking about apparently managed to beat a trial of some sort. Not sure why the dead would have a trial. It sounds like hell to me more than anything else. You die and you're stuck in court. Anything worse, I guess, would be to die and be stuck in the DMV. Ooh. But yes, they have managed somehow to get around this trial that they were in, and it seems they've joined a new group. See, wait, I'm getting a word. It's Phalanx? No, Legion. They've joined the Legion of Fate. Not quite sure why I keep getting a Ghostbusters image on a t-shirt. know. But that's something significant. But at least they've managed to beat this case. And it seems I keep getting a name and it makes no sense. It's Lawyer Barbie. Seems they did not like Lawyer Barbie? Is that like Sporty Barbie or Beach Bar? Yeah. Huh. Why would the spirits tell me about a Lawyer Barbie? And why would they tell me that these dead don't like her? They don't trust her. She's up to something. Who knows? Spirits only show me what they will. They don't always explain it to me. Remember, everyone, if you die, keep an eye on your loved ones and the things that are important to you. Because even after death, you're tied to them. Those are words to live by from your boy Twitch. See you after break. Good evening and welcome to Wraith Life Derailed. I am the storyteller, Shanky McStabber.
I'm House, and I play Noah Frost.
I'm Yurin, and I play Tark Tiernan.
Vinya, and I play Margot Quinn.
I'm Relindair, and I play Alexis Langley.
I'm Evie Eternal, and I play Aurora Walker.
And when we last left this circle of wraiths, they were at the Richmond State House, where they were being escorted out by Sabrina, their Anacreon. And they had found out there, of course, members of the Legion of Fate. And this is where we pick up. Now, unfortunately, Tamshu, the roving DM, was unable to be here tonight. He's not feeling well, so hopefully he feels better. But because he's not here, I have very bad things in store for him. And, hey, welcome to missing a session of Wraith. That's the way it's going to be. So, and Sabrina takes you back out through the entrance to the courthouse, back the way you came, past the statue of George Washington that looks pitted and damaged, and you can see the repairs and the creepy, crawly floor that seems to move under your feet, the cracked marble stairs into the nighttime of Richmond. And from this side of the shroud where you're at, you can see, of course, the living. There's dots everywhere of life energy. You can see through your life sight, all of them. And it's a number of people. But you also see the movings of things that do not give off any life sight. They're on your side of the shroud as well. It's a bustling city, and you're in the middle of it. And Sabrina looks up. Is this your first time, walking the city over on this side, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, here's how this works. There's two ways we can do it. We can play dodge them and dodge through people. As you can see, there's some people on the streets and we have to cross several roads. Or we can just bump into a few of them until we can go through them. And then it makes it a bit easier for us to move through the city.
I guess I don't.
With the ghost way.
Bumping, yeah.
Yeah, bumping is fine.
It seems easier, I guess. It feels almost alive with all these people, so it's weird.
Okay, we're going to do it the ghost way. Follow me. And she skips out past the courthouse or the state house grounds, because it's actually got a field of gray around it, or a field of green, which on your side is blasted. Grass is brown, almost dead. But it has a faint glow that shows it is still alive. It's not dead grass. She skips over right to the street, and the first thing she does is literally walk right into the street, where she's promptly hit by a car, which passes through her.
I'll do the same.
It's an odd feeling. Not only you expect pain, you expect impact. And it's uncomfortable, but there's no impact. But you do see, right as it passes through, the driver's face, woman sitting next to him, and a kid in the car seat in the back, all which you pass right through in a fleeting moment as the vehicle drives through where you are. Sabrina skips all the way across the other side of the road and waits for you all to come across there.
I move across.
How familiar are you all with Richmond?
Very.
Moved here a
Fairly
few
good.
months ago, but
Worth knowledge.
We're
Been
going to head
learning.
over towards the museum district, and we're actually going to end up going over to Bird Park. Our headquarters, you might call it, is down there. It's right off the James River. It's not a bad place. Well, it is, but it isn't. You'll see. You'll see. And she
we can
begins
hunt,
to
some
take you through
museums
the
after
city.
dark. That's kind of funny. We can maybe annoy some security guards or something by haunting.
She goes, no, we just got out of a court case messing with the
not-
living.
Not messing with them, just it would be interesting to keep that perspective. Reminds me of a horror movie.
I understand. It's just, you got to be careful. You don't know who could be listening.
I'll be careful.
What a bunch of fuddy-duddies.
I know.
And Sabrina starts to go back to her little skipping. Now, she does every once in a while. It looks like she's going to have to dodge the actual wraiths on the street. But they all seem to get out of her way when she gets near. Some of them cross the street. Some just stand against the wall. But wherever she walks, there's a path cleared, at least of the ones who are one of the restless dead. And as you're going through, she's blathering away about, now, Bird's Theater, that's also a hangout of sorts for some people.
I've been there.
Mhm.
Well, not in this state, but yes, I've been there.
It's a popular place for those who, how can I say it? Trying to be correct, like to sing.
It's funny because there were stories about the place when I was alive.
Oh, I'm going to guess. The manager?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Robert Coulter. He's still there.
Yeah, because they said he haunted the place.
Yes, Noah.
Does that comment about singing raise any, maybe not red flags, but flags based on my experience?
You were told that after you sang, you would be contacted by somebody.
And by the way, I'm last. I'm going to be last in this group.
Okay.
So, Sabrina, are there any places or hangouts where people like to change their bodies, themselves, others?
I can find. There is, but I don't know where it is. You would really have to talk to Zach the Smith.
Okay, I'll make sure to chat him up sometime then. I appreciate it.
But if we can't find it, don't worry. We can find somebody to help teach you. That's part of what we're going to do is we're going to try to figure out what you can do so we can figure out who can help teach you. And because now that you're in the Legion of Fate, you can't be useful unless you can do things. And in your case, being able to shape things, that's useful, very useful. Though there are times when you may have to do some unpleasant shaping. We shall see.
I guess I can't be that surprised, right?
And as you're skipping down the street, you come to a point where there's something off where you're at. You can feel it. There's a thing in the air, kind of you can, as beings of emotion, when there's strong emotions in a section, you really do feel it. And you feel like waves of hostility as you're walking in. And Sabrina stops and starts looking around. And you're in front of appears to be a bar, though it's closed. Boarded up windows. And as you stand there, suddenly you see a spirit come flying through the boarded up windows, landing in the street.
Oh, shit.
And in no time, you're caught in the middle of what would be amounting to a melee of spirits on your side of the shroud just
Duking it out. So what I need is everybody to roll dexterity athletics to dodge, or if you're going to try to, you throw a brawl. If you want to throw some brawl in there, it's up to you.
I think I'll throw some brawl in there. I'm pretty good at that.
Now, Aurora, you have armor on, so you do have an advantage in this melee of people bouncing off you, but we'll let you roll.
Any chance I could roll alertness instead of athletics?
Yes. Because of your fatalism, I will let you roll that.
And difficulty 6.
I ain't got shit.
It's almost as if fate tempts you or warns you at the last second that something's coming. 2?
Difficulty
1. Wow.
6.
6? 2? What did Alexis get now?
What was the
0.
difficulty?
Difficulty 6.
Okay, then I got 3.
It's
I
just
had
trying
a
to get
10,
away.
but I
The other
also
two.
got a 1. So that's a 0, right? That's not a botch.
That is correct. It is
Okay.
a 0. The only way you botch is if you
Have no
successes and then
Okay.
get a 1.
Okay.
That's correct. So the circle scatters as these wraiths, got to be 10 of them, duking it out, just beating the hell out of each other. And
I would like to hit somebody if they hit me.
you'll notice that as they get close to you, you're moving out of the way and none of them are swinging at you. And then you see one of them hit Sabrina. And she stands there and just stares at him.
Oh, shit.
And the fighting slows
Oh, shit.
and then it stops. What are the Legion's rules about fighting in the streets? And they all get this kind of it's almost an ashamed look on their face. You will report to whoever you report to, and you will have them punish you for this, or I will come looking. Do you understand? And the whole crowd, yes, Anacreon, yes, sorry. Go. Do not let me see you again tonight. And you watch these wraiths, they eyeball you with a kind of a side glance, and then they very quickly scatter. And all the people on the street that were wraiths that were walking along, none of them are meeting Sabrina's eyes, won't even look in her direction as she stands there. And she slowly unclenches her fists, and her face gets that child's look again, that blank, vacant expression. Sorry, they should know better.
No fighting in the streets. Got it.
Got it.
Margot's hand is kind of now sitting in her pocket.
You're missing one.
Missing what?
Isaac is
Isaac.
missing.
Isaac.
He has a tendency to wander sometimes.
God, I hope he's okay. I hope he didn't think that was like... Did he throw any punches? I don't know.
This is not the time to be wandering off. Well, it is what it is. We have to find him later, or he will show up later. Either way, we have more pressing concerns of you all. If he is stupid enough to wander the city by himself as one of the newly dead, this problem may get solved rather quickly. We shall see.
Is he in a lot of danger?
Yes. The newly dead, as you've learned, are commodities.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to keep our eye on the forges then and slave blocks. Something.
Slave blocks, possibly.
If he has anything of value, they'll take that. The dead rob the dead.
Hopefully he's not made into a, what was it, a fucking footstool for a decade?
No, probably not.
There's no extra protection now that we've been claimed by you?
No more protection than anyone else. Generally, how this works. Well, it's rather simple. You either have a reputation as people that don't get messed with, or you will stick close to the various legionnaires that you'll see wandering the city, the patrols. Because otherwise, let's just say that when the patrols can't see you, what happens to you? You have to make it to the patrol to tell about.
I think we should start solidifying our reputation in that first way then. I'll do my part, I guess.
Be careful using the term solidify around us.
And Daniel's may be wanting to do a renaissance, but he has a long way to go in this particular city. Because between the drugs and the death and the killings and all the things that have gone on here, there is a definite problem with, shall we say, residual emotions causing temper problems.
There are drugs
inside the city.
Oh, there's drugs in the Quick all the time. Fortunately, Richmond's been fighting a rather nasty drug war that they don't appear to be winning. They feed every day more overdoses, more shootings, more stabbings.
Jesus,
that is the world of the Quick. That is not our world. Can't change how the world of the Quick is. That is what you all created, not us. Well, you used to have created. Well, come along. We have to go. We have to keep moving.
Right, yeah. Sorry.
I'm just going to keep kind of in the periphery looking to see if I see Isaac. Not feeling very confident about it, but I'm just going to keep my eye out. In case.
I will let you roll perception awareness, not alertness, because that's a different one.
Is it alertness?
Yes. Or no, awareness, not alertness. Alertness is for detecting supernatural. Awareness is for detecting that.
I'm assuming insightful wouldn't.
No, that's not an insightful.
I'm assuming 6. Target 6.
If I don't say a difficulty, go with 6 because that's just a good base.
Yes, here.
And as you're going, taking you towards the museum district, and then you enter what is known as Bird Park. And you're taken through a lot of wooded area, actually. And you come upon a building that's rather run down. It's an old concrete structure, a lot of iron sticking in and out of it. It's got a flat slate roof that appears to have some sort of structure sitting up on top of it. Now, the structure is rather solid on your side. It is not part of the side of the world of the Quick. It's not in the Skinlands. It's actually in the Shadowlands. But the building itself, from your side, the concrete is cracked, pitted, looks barely held up. The pipes are full of rust. But as always, you've learned that's how things appear. And she goes, welcome. This is the Bird Park Pump House. If you come along with me, it doesn't look great, but what does over here?
Yeah, is it a decree that everything has to fucking look destroyed on this side? Fuck Oblivion.
It's the way of things will be. We always see things as they will one day be. So everything will eventually come apart and decay.
Entropy.
Entropy. That's correct. It's a big word. It took me a while to learn that one. And she skips up, and you go right through the front wall of it. But when you come inside, there's still rusted pipes stuck half out. Half the pipe is missing. There's basins where apparently water used to run or some sort of mechanical equipment. But in each of these little basins where the mechanical equipment is, you see a desk or, a table that is on your side. And she goes, we're closed. It's night, so they've shut down because, as you've seen, moving through the quick is difficult. So we try to only do things, most of the social things are at night. So during the day we do business, and at night I send everybody home. So, but this is where the Legion is based out of. Now, when you go upstairs, above this room here, as a matter of fact, it's an open air dance hall, or it was, but it's still up there. It's on our side. It kind of burnt and collapsed, but it's still active. Tomorrow you're going to have to come back here, and you're going to have to meet with Spectra. She will log your information, catalog, find out, name, what you do, those kind of things. But you'll recognize Spectra. She'll normally be at these desks over here, and she points to a desk. She goes, and she's all in white dress. You won't miss her. Black hair, white dress. Sir. But that's who you'll talk to. Let me give you a tour. Let me take you out back and show you the back side of the place.
Before we walk out, Alexis has done a quick search, just looking around the room to see if there's anything of note. And I've gotten 7 successes on that.
7 successes?
Mm-hmm.
The tables are decidedly solid. You're not sure what they're made of? They're made of something. But it's not wood, but you're not quite sure.
Okay.
And,
anything on the tables?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
There's nothing on it. Now, you do see there's doors leading out of it, and you catch some movement every once in a while in the other areas of it. But other than that, there's nothing noteworthy in this. It's just
okay. I
from
just
where
wanted
you're
to check.
It's an empty area.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, we'll go right through here. And she walks right through the back wall. And when you step out, you see train tracks running behind the building. Now, these on the other side of the tracks, you see the trees over there. Right past the trees is the James River. So if you're the type that likes to watch the water go by, you can. It's right over there. But you'll see it's not normally right water on our side, at least rivers and such.
So H2 no is kind of the rule.
I mean, it's water, but it's not. Well, it's like the Tempest. I know you haven't seen Tempest yet, but...
Actually, I think I did.
When would that be?
The renegade I mentioned that had attempted to tutor us and protect us. He ended up becoming a specter right before we were collected by the Legionnaires. And he was sucked into what he had told us was like a nihil, I believe.
Yes, nihil.
But I was actually able to see through the opening.
Yes, you saw the temple. Here, as a matter of fact, since you brought this up, let me go take you to another part of our building. I want to show you something. This is rather interesting, actually. And she takes you to one of the side wings, and it looks like it was basically a break room of some sort. She walks you in there because you can see old broken furniture stuffed into various corners of it, just stuffed in there, and it's on, of course, the Skinland side. But in the center of the room, about maybe 6 feet across, is an opening in the floor that you can see into. Neil.
Permanent one.
It opened about 15 years ago, and it's just been sitting there. We don't know when it'll close, if it'll close, but it's Neil. Takes you right to the Tempest. Yes, Noah.
Does it look like the inside of what I fell into?
It's what you fell into and passed through before you landed in your past. Aurora, it is what you landed in. Right. Aurora, it's what you landed in when you burned yourself.
Sabrina.
Yes.
Is this a security threat?
It can be.
Has anything ever come out of it?
Oh, yes. Sometimes. sometimes, but we can't close
kind
it.
of things.
Why do we? Is it a great idea to have the HQ with a massive security threat? What comes out of it? Specters, I assume.
We haven't had a specter come out.
What comes out?
Sometimes other wraiths. Actually, we get invoice from Stygia come through this particular Nihil from time to time. It seems to be a by. It leads to a byway. Think of a byway as like. I mean, it's like a river, but at the same time, it's a path, a highway, a road. It's a way to go from point A to point B in the Tempest, a relative calm spot.
They're not necessarily inherently bad, these
No.
Nihils.
Not all of them. How else would you get? Well, you don't know about Stygia, do you?
You've heard the
This
name.
is going to be tough.
Just
It's going to be
passing.
Passing.
Yeah, this is going to be very difficult to explain.
I fell my ass through a maelstrom and got picked up by a boatman apparently, but I don't.
You've met a ferryman.
Oh yeah, he didn't talk. Seemed nice though.
They don't much. Very creepy.
He's alright. Got me back.
Well, that's what they do. Ferrymen escort the souls of the dead.
It's good of him.
But
Someone called what I had experienced a harrowing.
yes, that's what I told you. It was a harrowing. You were too young to have experienced one. You fell through the Tempest, which is, if you look through that hole, it's the what looks like a water, but then it looks like sand, and then it looks like blood, and it looks like rubble. That's the Tempest, and you fell through it to bad place, the Labyrinth, which is
I'm not a fan of that.
where the specters come from. It's not a good place.
So is
No.
that where they go when a wraith turns into a specter?
No, we don't know what happens when a wraith turns into a specter. We've seen it. They get wrapped in some sort of black cocoon, like our death shrouds when we die, and then eventually, maybe sometimes they come back. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they do. It's. We've never seen one shift.
I remember Thomas when he turned in his specter. He said the voice was going to find him.
Yeah.
He knew us. He knows another specter. It's odd. Very odd.
It was the voice. He makes people mad.
He feeds off of the angry energy.
That sounds like a specter, all right?
And apparently it was Thomas's friend when
When they were both wraiths.
It's the
Yeah,
worst
when they were
time
both
to
wraiths.
lose a friend and have them come back. But I was trying to dark discussion. I was
Sorry.
trying to explain Stygia. It's a place. It is located, but were you to try to go to it from the Skinlands, you can't. It doesn't. How can I? It's trying to explain how Mother explained it to me.
Is it like levels?
It's an
Like a
onion.
different
Okay, there's an
dimension?
onion.
Layers.
Okay, so at the center of the onion is Oblivion. Okay, now around the onion is a labyrinth. Around that layer, you have the Tempest, which is where Stygia and there's other places. There's outposts. There's smaller cities that go around it. Now around that, you have Shadowlands right here, and then on top of that, you all have the Skinlands. You see, it's yes, an onion. That's layers exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to try to go from here to Stygia, you can't. But a Nihil is an opening from this layer to that layer.
Then next.
It's a portal.
Right. So you can go in it and you can go places. It's not safe. It's not always easy. And even a byway that you know isn't always the same each time you go. It shifts much like emotions. And I know it's a lot for you new people to comprehend. I know. And I mean, look, I'm only 9.
Navigating this place sounds fucking infuriating.
Yeah.
It can be. It can be. And you hear a voice call out from nearby. Stop with the year 9 shit.
Yeah, how long have you been 9?
She
Long
looks
time.
over and you see a man walk in. He appears to be, I don't know, you'd put him maybe 1920s outfit. This is Daniel. He's one of our marshals.
Different from Daniel's. That's him.
Okay, Noah, you're going to have to send her that one. I'm not going to describe it. And if she wants to burn a willpower, she can, or otherwise she's going to say it. One of the shadows is wanting to use powers on people. She goes, that Daniel's one of my marshals. And when you get a good look at him, you actually see around his neck is a burn line, a rope burn all the way around his neck.
Hmm.
I'll use a willpower to resist that.
Okay. You almost want to, there's something that comes to your mouth and you force by sheer force of will not to say it.
That's not funny. That's not, sorry.
He looks up, name's Daniel. Don't let her play the I'm 9 game. She does that to everybody.
Oh, I wasn't buying it at all.
She looks innocent enough.
She looks
but
up with Sabrina has this wide-eyed look on her face. She looks maybe 7 at that point.
Oh, dang
I can
it.
say
That
it
worked
is
so
it is
well.
a
That's
really
not
good
fair.
attempt, but
And she
you
runs
are
her lip
very
out.
crafty.
And he looks down, and now she's going to try to pout.
Uh-huh.
Oh, come on.
Sabrina,
All
you know it
right.
doesn't work. She goes, hey, he's no fun, but he's a good marshal.
Well, I'm glad.
Daniel, you probably will be reporting to him shortly, not tonight, but in a few days. He normally grabs the new ones that I have, and he likes hanging out at this place because you have a real special affinity for this place, don't you? And Daniel looks over and goes, yeah, I hung myself out front.
Wow.
Well, shit.
No,
Jeez.
You know?
it's a different time.
Yeah, we're all dead. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, thankfully Lady Fate stepped in, or otherwise I'd be, in a different legion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which legion was the suicide? Was that murder? Or, no, that was Poppers, maybe? I can't remember.
I'm pulling up, I got a list right here. Either it would have been Silent Legion or Penitent Legion,
Mm-hmm.
Despair or Madness, depending.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And,
Yeah, I normally take care of the new ones. Yes, Noah.
Having seen Sabrina kind of act like a child, give that childish look, could I use life sense strands to see if I can sense where my wife is?
Of course you can. Let me pull it up. I'm going to go right down my list of notes in here. It's under a monitor. As soon as I can find it. Really? Okay, I'm going to find it the easy way. Sense strands, right? Go. Just going to skip and find it because that's the way to do it. Too many powers in this game. Sense strands. Okay, you roll perception plus life web. And each of those successes allows you to roll a perception alertness. Are you going to spend a pathos as well when you activate it?
Sure.
Okay. So first roll
And that-
perception life web.
Three.
Okay. And with actually, it's a place in the Shadowland. The target is 7 for that one, not 6. So how many?
Still 3.
Still 3? Okay, good. Still add 3. So you can roll 3 dice on a perception alertness and to determine, and a perception awareness. We can use the 3 dice to roll them. and you'll get some information based on what you roll. Yes, Alexis.
No, I was just gonna say it's in the Skinlands, not the Shadowlands.
Right. Sorry. Yeah. But her shroud rating is 7 where she's at.
2 successes.
2 successes. She's at your house, crying in front of the television.
All right.
You can't sense what she's watching, but you can tell she's on the couch crying in front of the television. Daniels looks over.
It's not Daniels, it's Daniel.
Daniel. I know too many names.
Don't
of the
be
same
fucking
thing.
that up.
I'm going to fuck it up. Daniel goes, yeah, I will talk to you all tomorrow. Once Spectra, that name, once Spectra deals with you, she'll send you to me, and we'll get you figured out what I'm gonna use you for. But don't let her play the game tonight. She does this with every new Wraith who comes through here. All of the infants. She plays I'm the little kid, and don't.
Oh, I saw her in action, so it's fine.
And Sabrina actually looks over and says, Daniel, if Elizabeth does not stop by tonight, see me tomorrow because she's supposed to come to you for punishment. Yes, ma'am. Gotcha.
We know what the Emerald Legion does for punishment. What do y'all do for punishments? Is it a lot of the same?
Well, I don't know yet what she's done, but I will assign a punishment duty of some kind. And Sabrina actually looks up at Daniel and goes, fighting in the streets? Oh, yeah, good. I think since she wants to fight in the streets, she'll get extra rounds of patrol duty to prevent fighting in the streets.
Yeah, that makes sense. That seems pretty reasonable, actually, compared to some of the other punishments I've heard recently.
Yeah, but if she doesn't come report, that's where it gets
ugly.
A little worse. But she's not that stupid. Not if Sabrina told her to come. Well, good evening, folks. I will see you.
It was a pleasure.
Tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
And he wanders right through the wall beside it. She goes, he's a stick in the mud, but he's good at what he does. So it's okay. It's okay.
Of course.
So now that we're in a relatively quiet space, don't mind Daniel's. He knows all the major things anyway. Daniel, sorry. I know too many of Daniel Anacreon. I know there's too many, but his name can't be changed. Do you have any questions? You said you didn't want to talk about something over there. This is as safe as we're going to get, short of leaving. Well, even that's not safe. We can't even leave the city. I'm short of, I don't know. This is about as safe as you get. You had something to say? Let me know.
I look at Noah and say, do you want to or do you want me to?
Go ahead.
You're right. There's something going on. There are machinations in place. I've seen power plays before in life. There's one in process.
Yeah. You haven't told me anything new. That's
I figured as much.
That's normal for all the councils. There's always a power play.
Just they thought we would be naive and take a trap.
No, who did that?
Miss Emma.
Oh,
Lawyer
yeah.
Barbie is sus.
Lawyer Barbie. I don't get the reference.
She gives us that slimy feeling that lawyers do.
I know what a lawyer is.
Barbie is
Barbie's
a doll.
It's a doll.
Okay, okay, yeah. That would kind of
like a fashion doll, so looks perfect.
I didn't know they were called Barbies. I've seen some in the store, but you can't really read the boxes.
Mm-hmm.
You can just tell they're fashion dolls because on our side you can't read it.
Writing will probably be,
But okay, that would make sense. So she came to you, and what was the job?
wanted us to look into some renegades in town. But considering we had just been collected from tutelage by a renegade, that would be awful suspect for us to go looking into renegades.
She has a real thing for pursuing renegades and for pursuing heretics. That's kind of
Her thing.
yeah. She really doesn't like them much.
She was claiming Daniels wanted it done, but I'm
Oh.
not sure I believe it.
He has her do it all the time. One of his ideas of a renaissance. You see, in most hierarchy cities, there's not a big renegade or heretic presence because, well, bad things happen to them. Either they get put in chains or put in the forge or run out of town, or some of them get destroyed. It happens. Can't help that. And but Richmond has a problem with, of course, as you could tell, things are a bit out of control still here. So we have a problem with those, and I'm sure Daniels sets it, but
Needless to say, I'm sure we were going to be utilized as deniable assets, and if things went, well, all to heck, we would be
Blamed.
thrown under a bus,
Oh.
as the saying goes.
so it's just normal. What goes on normally. Gotcha.
Mhm.
Okay.
Normal
Well, yes,
backstabby
that's
shit.
political maneuvering.
Of course it is.
We're not immune to it. I don't play the game like they do, but they use our people all the time. Not in a good way. You'll learn to either accept or not, and you'll navigate your way. I can't teach you that one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But it's probably a good idea not to have taken it.
Yeah.
At least not on the first night.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I can. Yeah.
All my internal red flags just went waving.
She's not the one you should have the red flags about.
I've written fantasy novels. I know where this shit's going sometimes.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
The one you should really worry about is Miss Colt. That's the one.
Oh, is that the one that the Matahari wannabe,
The one who dressed in the tight. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. That
like, sexes it up so much it's like obvious what she is? Yes.
What did Daniels told me it was she walks around, and when she walks away, it's like two puppies fighting under a blanket.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Yeah, that's how he described it.
I saw her.
Oh,
What? Is that not that's not a way to describe something?
And that's the way
We-
guys say it. And it's
Okay.
highly offensive
Yeah.
to women.
Okay, but that's what Daniels. I didn't know that's I'm going to go talk to Daniels about that later. But
We
he thought
might
it was
just
funny.
say she's
Of course he
thick.
would. From what I hear about him, of course he would.
You know,
yes, thick.
Extra thick.
yeah, she's an interesting one. I'm not even sure what she does for him other than trouble.
Oh, I figured she'd, seduce for information.
You're close, but not with
Or
Daniels.
be a black widow.
Yeah, not with Daniels. Him and Miss Mead do their thing. So, but yeah, word is, don't say anything to Miss Cole unless you want it to get back to Mr. Daniels.
Of course.
Bear that in mind.
Yep. So, any other questions? Anything else you'd like to know about?
I'm kind of curious about something, actually, Sabrina.
Okay.
Do you know what powers are forbidden?
I don't know all of them. I know that you can't play with people's memories. What you did specifically, rotting metal, that was not good. I'm going to look up the other one. I forget the third one, but there's 3 of them. I don't remember the third banned one. That's pretty bad, isn't it?
And
I
we're
know
not supposed
that-
to fuck with anything in the skin.
Out of
lands, right?
character, Margot has 2.
Mm-hmm. Mimnosis is 1. She told you that.
Mm-hmm. That one, yeah, is mine.
Mm-hmm.
The other one is intimation.
Intimation.
Intimation, that's the last one. Okay, so yep. But you can't play with memories. You definitely can't be rotting stuff. Okay, that is not right. Messing with aging things in the skin lands where those can see it is generally a bad idea. I'll pull up the third one real quick. Even as storyteller, I can't remember everything in this damn game.
The intimation is mostly about the perception of other wraiths.
Yep.
Making objects more desirable.
Yeah. And the last one is playing with emotions. We are all beings of emotion. And when you falsely change, alter to us or to others, let's just say it leaves people upset.
Can't be surprised, right?
Good to know for future reference, since nobody explained what's not to be done.
Now, again, as I'd pointed out, there's a certain hypocrisy. You'd be amazed how many people can do this stuff.
Don't get caught.
Well, it's not like we seem to have any control over what we're given.
We've, it's funny. Mother studied that, was trying to figure out how there was a link between what you do and what you manifest, and she never could figure anything out with that. Some cases it seemed to match people's living things, and others not even remotely. Mother could never figure that out. But the big things, the guilds themselves have been banned. Don't get caught. Every once in a while you'll find a group of solicitors, which is those who play with emotions. You'll find a group of them, and they will get purged because they're a guild. We know that one or two exist because powers are what they are. But when they band together to work together,
that's when there's a problem.
It's what too many working together is what caused guilds to get banned. There was a war fought.
Significantly anti-union here is what I'm getting.
Mm-hmm.
There was a war in Stygia where they tried to overthrow Charon, the guilds. Some came out of it better than others. When there's a war, if you pick the wrong side.
I take it the ones that are super banned are basically ones that did the most damage.
Started the war.
Oh, shit.
Or if you believe some, got the blame for the war. You will find that, much like anything, it's a point of view.
Yeah, truth seems awful fluid here.
Truth is fluid everywhere. Unfortunately, that's one thing not even fate can fix.
What's the phrase, Victor? The history is written by the victor?
Absolutely, it is.
Yeah, that's rather true. It's my suggestion is to be careful what powers you use on each other. Generally, it's considered bad form to visibly be using any powers. You use them, you do that. Normally, it's done in private. The only ones, oddly enough, now, and she looks right at Noah, one of the ones that are generally looked over, the singers and the performers. You'll be amazed at what you have to do now that you're dead for entertainment at times. So you'll find that the Guild of Chantors, they like to go with the ones who can show things, that can make images to go with a song. So you'll find them working together quite a bit.
A holographic opera.
Somewhat, yes. That kind of an idea. There are powers that let you display things to people to see. And if you can do that while somebody's singing, you can set a story to words. You'll
Fascinating.
find we can't watch TV very well here. We can see them. The screens are generally cracked, damaged, and
what have you.
Right.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, though, you'll find this amusing. You can see more movies in a movie theater than you can a TV. Because when a TV screen is cracked, you see nothing. But on a movie, all you'll have is the film will have gaps in it and damaged screen you're watching it on, but it's light pushed to it. And you can sit and watch it.
Interesting.
It's awesome. Thank goodness.
It's very odd how that works. It's little things you don't think about. Of course, I remember before there was all this movie stuff, all we had was the ones who sang.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to get wrangled up like some court jester, am I?
No. Like I said, as long as you're not caught breaking any rules, you'll find that those who sing are relatively liked. The Chantors Guild, let's say, is a secret that's not a secret. Everyone knows if you wish to learn to sing, you go to Bird Theater.
Gotcha.
Because we need our amusements. We need something to lift our hopes once in a while. Not a very nice place to live.
So guilds are banned, but not banned. As in, discretion is...
Discretion. Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're...
Not too many together at one time.
If you play with somebody's memory and you're caught associating with others who do memories, they'll call that a guild and normally send you straight to the fortress. Don't know why. There seems to be
that one.
There seems to be an irrational hatred by many towards those who can call memories, and that I never have figured out why, but don't know. Mother never told me. I sense there's something there that she knew.
Do you have historians?
Well,
I know paper's scarce, but
there are those who
can
chronicle time.
Memory.
Sometimes they do it through music. Some of them are like you, who shape their body into monuments, memorials, record keeping. We had one not too many years ago that was here, I believe. I remember her name was Joni, who liked to keep track of things by writing it on her skin. Shaping the same way you do the armor, but instead of making armor or a weapon, she would just make notes. I saw one. It's rather interesting. An artist in life would draw on his chest amazing artworks, patterns and swirls, only the next day to wipe it out and do another one. And it became a thing.
Okay, that's actually brilliant.
It became a thing he would do where people would find out, what is his next design? Yeah. What is he doing next?
That's actually brilliant.
He disappeared a few months ago.
Oh.
We don't know where. People come and go. It's a city.
Mm-hmm.
But it was caused a stir for a while there of the art. Yes. I know you have much more pressing questions than this.
Have any insight into our fates that were changed by what happened on the train?
You were meant to die on that train. That fate never changed. It seems what changed was where. And it makes me wonder about you. You see, I'm curious. It's part of why I fought, threatened for you. I know the train was to kill some of you. Not one, but multiple. I do not know which ones. Who would go through the trouble? Oh, you. And you. And you. And there's one other. But who would go through that trouble? And that makes me curious. I do not know what the lady has in store. But after a few hundred years, you'll find anything that makes you curious, you hold on to.
Knock, 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 knock. You there? Just don't want you to forget that you're not actually dead. Don't get too comfortable here and like get all settled into this boring suburban, like, I'm going to just do a job life. You're alive, and you need to remember that.
Yeah. Sabrina, is there... I know we're not supposed to interact with the Skinlands, ever. Is there any way back? Is there a power to bring you back to life?
No. Do not. You do not want that route. You do not want that. You may think you do, but you don't. It is. I'm an abomination. It is. Should not be done. And this is where we're going to go to break with the wrong question actually to ask. It has obviously disturbed Sabrina, and Alexis is not happy to hear that one. She's like, nope. We will come back.
Like, am I surrounded by idiots? Yes, I am.
Blame the shadow. We will be back in 10 minutes. Enjoy the break, everyone.
She lives in murk and shadow, cold as the alleys of stone. She's a blur in the window, a prisoner of the underworld. She watches life from the gloom. Friends she lost and lovers too. That simple life she once knew, before the cursed dark consumed. And every clock is broken, and every step is hopeless, living in the gloom. And every day gets longer till no one can remember, lost in the gloom. She sings a song to A friend she lost, lovers too, of life before she fell to glue. She watches life from the gloom. Friends she lost, and lovers too. That simple life she once knew, before the cursed dark consumed. Hush, child, open your eyes. You are not alone. We are your dark ones, holding you close. Come dance with us, dance in the darkness. We've been waiting for you. That world doesn't want you like we do. We see you, for in the night fire shines bright. Come dance with us, dance in the darkness. Oh, how we've been waiting for you. Why fight the night when the night is endless? Why cling to the light when the light always diminishes? Come dance in the dark and you will be fearless. Let the dark kill the love in your heart till your heart is painless. Come, let's leave this world behind. Dance with the dark ones in your mind. Come, let's leave them all behind. Dance with the dark ones. Dance with the dark ones. Hush, child, open your eyes. You are not alone. We are your dark ones, holding you close. Come dance with us, dance in the darkness. We've been waiting for you. That world doesn't want you like we do. We see you, for in the night fire shines bright. Come dance with us, dance in the darkness. Oh, how we've been waiting for you. Why fight the night when the night is endless? Why cling to the light when the light always diminishes? Come dance in the dark and you
welcome back. Before the break, or let's just put it bluntly, Aurora asked a question that she probably shouldn't have. Isaac is missing, though you'll notice Aurora doesn't, or not Aurora, Sabrina. It didn't seem to faze her. And we're going to pick up right there. Sabrina still has this horrified look on her face looking at Aurora. You wouldn't be you. You would... It's all rumor. There's no proof that it can be done. But from what I have heard, you're not you anymore. You're not alive. And if you think that voice in your head has power on you now, there's nothing compared to what it has on the other side.
Is there a way to fix it then? A way to is there a, I don't know, like a fucking holy grail or something that'll get rid of it, or not get rid of it, make it the way it was when you were alive?
You're dead. You're not alive.
Well, I went from being alive to being dead. Can I go from being dead to being alive again? It's gotta be a fucking way, right? Hundreds of fucking years.
You tell her.
Aurora, your family knows you're dead. How do you think it would affect them if you showed up on their doorstep?
Yeah, it'd probably be pretty fucking weird, but I think they'd be more relieved than anything, don't you?
I think they'd go out of their fucking heads.
Maybe. Shit. I don't know.
There was no body. How can they say that with such certainty?
They don't even... I didn't even have a body.
You don't want to go down that road, I can tell you. It is, if it's at all possible. You're not meant to go back on the other side. You died. You need to come to grips with what keeps you here to move on. Because the only way other than that is oblivion.
There's got to be something else. There was something else. There's got to be like a heaven. There's got to be a something. We can't have been this fucking wrong about the afterlife.
Well, all I'm going to say, Aurora, is you're the author. You're the writer of your own destiny.
Would you like to hear a story about heaven?
Heard plenty of stories, but sure. I've read a lot of religion bullshit.
When Lady Fate picked Charon, and he established Aegea, and founded the ferryman, he was the first. The ferryman set out on a tempest to explore, to find paths to go places. Think of the tempest as a giant sea, and they navigated it. Some, after a long trip, found other land inside the tempest, much like Stygia is built on a piece of land that is in this sea of emotion. And in this land, they found what could be called heaven. There's multiples. You found one for each religion, and some for no religion, where they were told they would find their eternal bliss. And in the beginning, that was the ferryman's job. You would come to Stygia, and from Stygia, you would go to the land where you felt you could move on, or if you chose, you could stay in Stygia and there. And then the ferryman went to check one day and found out they were lied to. The ones who went there were promised their heaven and were enslaved, tortured, destroyed. And the ferryman stopped taking people because there was no heaven. It was just more of this. But it was a lie, whereas, at least with Stygia, you are told where you are.
Well, then shouldn't we fix this? Shouldn't we make it better? Shouldn't we find a way to circumvent this shit? To fuck over Oblivion? There has to be a way. Did everyone just give up on that? Or did they lose hope? Did they...
I don't think you understand what Oblivion is. It is the end of the universe. It is the end of everything. Everything marches towards Oblivion. There was a poem. I only know it because somebody... There was a book on our side that I saw. My son, my executioner. Whereas when your child was born, it is a new life added, but it also signifies that you are approaching your death. Because we all march straight ahead to the death. Some come here, but in the end, everything goes to oblivion, to nothingness. What else is there? The question is whether it's nothingness here, or if it's some other place. But in the end, you will leave here, and you can't fight the end. You can either be one of them who can move on, or one of them who doesn't. But you still will be destroyed as we all are. Ashes to ashes. Dust to dust. I know it's not what you want to hear, especially from a 9-year-old, but it's the truth.
I know.
The sooner you come to recognize there is no heaven, there's no hell. There is being and not being. And oblivion is not being.
I understand, even if I can't accept it. And I don't know if y'all research things. I don't know how it works, but if you do, I want to research ways to make this better and to change things.
Many have.
Best I can.
Many have tried. Now, Noah, I know you were wanting to activate your device in your pocket. But while this conversation's been going on, you reached in to activate it. Not yet? Let me know when you want to activate it, okay?
No, that was just curiosity.
Because are you planning to activate your recorder?
No.
No? Okay. Though you do feel...
No.
Okay, but you do feel something moves in your pocket while this conversation is going on. Your flask shifted.
Reach into my pocket.
Your flask is heavier than it was. Sloshes a bit when you touch it.
Sure. You sure you want to mess with that, Noah? I mean, remember what happened?
There's alcohol in your flask, Noah.
It wasn't full a second ago. I give it a shake. This is what caused me so much trouble in life and apparently in death.
It's empty. Not to you, it's not. You feel there's stuff in it. But it's a flask. Might be worth something to some people. Some people like it.
You don't hear that?
No.
None of you?
Not that I can tell.
You're shaking an empty flask.
Yeah.
What does it seem like to you?
It sounds full.
Pour it out.
Yeah, open it up and look.
Oh. I'll tip it.
It starts pouring. Keeps pouring.
You do not see this.
For the rest of you, you do see something. It doesn't appear to be liquid, but there's almost a shimmer coming out of it. That's all you can see. But to you, Noah, it keeps pouring and pouring and pouring, much more than what is in it. And Sabrina just has this curious look.
What on earth is that?
It's not liquid, Noah. It's something else.
Almost looks like vapor.
It's emotion.
You'll need to elaborate.
It's made of what we are. It's emotion.
I'm not pouring like me out doing this, am I?
I don't see anything. Just a faint wisp of something. But it's not pouring. I know right now you can really smell it.
You do this?
You can smell it strongly of alcohol. I didn't do anything.
Not going to talk to me, but you're going to tempt me? Huh? Fucking coward.
Who are you talking to, Noah?
Fucker in my head.
That's surprising.
Pushing my buttons.
We all have weights we must carry. You will. They do things. They will always do things.
Yeah, mine likes to make me hear and see things that aren't there.
That's a favorite trick of theirs.
Really great for an investigator.
This stuff sent me down that hole. It's going to take a lot more than this.
You do realize by shouting, you have given the spirit what it wanted. You know this, right?
No, we know no.
You'll learn in time.
They try to get a rise out of us.
They are emotion as you are. They feed off emotion as you do. By showing them emotion.
It's like we emerge into this place as toddlers that everything trying to make us throw a temper tantrum, and no one is telling us a damn thing until we met you.
Let me explain a very basic. You've been around already enough as a dead. Have you been near somebody or seen something that, for some reason, made your blood quicken or made you feel alive, or a jolt of energy or something happening around you? You saw an emotion. We get stronger because we are made of emotion. The other half is made of emotion too. They get stronger off of emotions. Sometimes good ones, sometimes bad ones. The problem is, you never know which emotions feed them. You can tell which feeds you, of course, because you'll feel it. But you don't know what feeds them. And by reacting, you are feeding them something.
Is that right? You getting fed off me? Off my desperation and hope and despair at this bullshit? Yeah.
It's a hard lesson for the new ones to learn. And it's a lesson you'll always learn something new. I've been here over 300 years now. Wow. And it finds new ways to taunt me, to tempt me. Just a few minutes ago, it told me to shove Tark into that hole.
Bastard.
Thank you for resisting.
It knows I won't do it. But it also knows it wears me down.
But what would happen if you pushed one of us into the hole?
You would fall into the Tempest. On a byway. You'd have a firm ground to walk on for a while at least. You'd have to find your way back.
Maybe a ferryman will pick you up.
You could hope. They normally travel the byways. Sometimes it'll be a road, sometimes a river, sometimes it'll change to both. But where you enter is not always the way to return. It's
like a one-way door.
I don't know how other to explain it than this side of the door does not match the other side for where it goes.
So it's like in the Scooby-Doo cartoons where you'd go through one door and come out like some other funky door, and they'd be back and forth and stuff.
They lead to different places, yes. It's the best way to describe it is much like, I don't know if you've heard of the Midnight Express, the train.
We've heard of it.
Yeah.
The train always stops at midnight. And sometimes the front of the train is in one city. The back of the train is in another city. And the middle of the train is somewhere. You can have the front in Richmond, the back in New York. And the middle could be midnight in London. All at the same time. The nihils are much the same. It's, how can I explain? Time is fluid when you deal with the emotions of the Tempest. That's why so many of our type use it as shortcuts.
Are the landmarks, say, in the Tempest fixed, or do they shift?
Stygia is fixed. Many of the larger places are fixed. They're islands in a sea of emotion. But others move. One of the things that renegades and heretics will do to survive is they will find a piece of land in the Tempest to live on until it moves. And it's not there anymore, and they're left adrift.
Speaking of, where do we stay?
That has yet to be seen. You don't sleep, you don't have to sleep, but I don't imagine standing here in this building all night would be amusing. Do you have homes? Do you live in Richmond? You can stay at your own homes, though there are difficulties. Though it might refresh you to be near those you love. If you do this, my advice is do not try to interact with them. The living don't handle our kind well.
A lot of temptation.
It is. But we are creatures of habit, much like you were when you were alive. You will go where you feel most comfortable.
I find myself... I keep thinking... Everyone says that the living don't handle our kind well. And I guess it would be like someone talking to abstract it, an alien, but I mean, if aliens started to become common, wouldn't that just become a part of everyday life?
How would it be common? First of all, we're not allowed to make it
We're not allowed. I know.
Secondly, the mind of the quick is much too fragile.
Did our minds toughen up when we died?
You have no choice but to accept it when you're here.
Yeah.
But what happens if you are in the Skinlands? When you were alive, what happened if you constantly started seeing the dead? Would you be locked away? Would you be put in a mental institution? How long before you cracked? Through isolation, through people telling you you're insane, people ostracizing you. How long?
But imagine if it was normal to see that shit.
Normal? Most of the time, you probably saw more ghosts than you realize. but it was shadow at the corner of your vision. When you looked over, it wasn't there. But it must have been that jacket, the way it was hanging on the back of the chair, that made you think a person was there.
Visitations to my dreams.
There are those of us who go to dreams.
Kind of stories that my family told about our house, our old family house here in Richmond. Just stories of things happening, or maybe ghosts out of the corner of eyes. It's over in Churchill.
You get a chill in certain rooms, or you mention a loved one's name and a shiver runs up your spine. They could have been there.
But Pentex knows about ghosts. They have to have done the shit that they did. They have to know. How do they handle it? They're not in mental wards. They're not schizophrenics.
My advice is not to pursue Pentex.
Why not?
Why can't they just tell everyone else? Get it over with.
The one who runs Pentex is not human. He was, but he is not now.
What is he, a mummy?
One of the fallen.
You're kidding me.
Fallen?
An angel. Before their rebellion.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So like fucking Lucifer?
No.
Demons.
There are angels now? I thought there wasn't a heaven. Where the fuck do angels come from?
I've been in the Tempest. I have seen celestials. I have seen demonic entities. Wings. Some glow with a white, some horribly black.
So there is something beyond this.
They live in the Tempest.
She doesn't seem to be able to get her story straight.
I don't know.
What if your stories of heaven and your stories of hell and demons and angels are all just explaining what somebody saw through the veil or through the shroud on this side? You would write legends, you would write stories, you would write things about it to explain what you saw.
Of course. I've often said that how could ancient peoples, when there was no light pollution, look up at the sky and think there was nothing beyond that? There was, of course, they thought of things, they saw things.
Yep. But most don't know of Pentex or what he is.
Oh, I didn't even know that, but I knew that they were up to some really bad shit.
I've had dealings with a few, and from what I understand, the one running it is what you would call a demon.
So we've heard that there are demons and celestials that may appear like angels. We've heard that there are vampires. We've heard that, well, of course, there's the striplings, which are the very young ones that don't have the emotional maturity to manage their emotions and become basically instant specters. Are there other things as well? Because it seems like everything supernatural that we make movies and stories about really exist.
They do. Where do you think the movies and stories came from?
Fuck.
People were making shit up. That's what I do.
There are vampires in Richmond. You will see them at some point.
Oh, fuck.
Great. Can we talk to them at least?
No, they don't see you. And the few that do, my advice is avoid them. We are creatures of emotion, and we must protect those we care about. And by nature, a vampire is a leech upon the life force and those who live. Do you want to draw attention to yourself when they know they could hurt you and drain those you care about, and then use you?
I'd kill him.
Right.
I'd kill him again. And join me on the other side, and I'd cut him apart.
Everything that you know of in legends and myth, they came from somewhere. Even the Fae came from somewhere.
Is it Fae realm too?
Of course. Where do you think they would come from? It was a shock to learn this as well for me. But all of these myths and legends come from somewhere.
I'm sorry, though. Still, why isn't there any sort of punishment or trial for Pentex for messing with the Skinlands if there's this person at the head of it who is not living? Why are they allowed to get away with it?
Yeah, why is
How
that
do you stop
motherfucker able to go? If I can get back, if I can't go back, why can he?
He's not on this side. He's in his,
He
they're in
was
the
alive when he
Skinlands.
got possessed, I imagine.
They're in the Skinlands. We would have to break the rules to do something to him. Plus, to put it mildly, we're not equipped. You may see one at some point in the Tempest. If you do, celestial or demonic, pick one. Either way, avoid them. They are, I would say alien, but it's not alien. They are detached from the human condition.
Color me not shocked.
From what I've been told, they're older than all of us, much like many of the things we see.
Back to my original question, where are we staying?
If you don't want to stand here, you could stay
Where we're comfortable.
where you're comfortable. You could go to your own homes. You could go to each
I will
other's
offer-
house. I don't know,
I'll offer my family's house. It's not that far.
but I will say that there's an advantage to congregation together. Wraiths that spend time in one location, generally, it's called a haunt. It's kind of a silly word to call it. Actually, a haunted house type thing. Haunted house they're called haunted hells for a reason. They're normally haunted. But it's a protection. You'll find that if you have a place where you have got emotional ties or someone has emotional ties and you spend time there, the specters will start to have trouble finding you in it.
I've settled that I'm going fucking home then. I'm sleeping in my own bed.
We don't sleep. Well, I take that back. We do sleep, but not that way. Not normal.
I'm resting in my own bed then.
That's the other thing I should probably tell you. If you get injured, if you get hurt, find something important to you.
I was going to ask about that.
Find something that matters to you.
Because I noticed certain things pulled to me.
That would be called a fetter. Protect them. Don't share them with others unless you trust the others. But when you're hurt, you can draw yourself to it and rest. And it will reforge the emotions that we're made from. Strengthen your self thoughts. Recorporate
Do we
what
drink?
you've lost. Yes.
Yeah, we do. You put me to sleep once already. We do.
Yeah, I can do that.
It was nice.
You're a Sandman.
I prefer Sandwoman.
I did not name the guilds. That I go by what we called them.
I have learned, I've had a few things manifest with me. I can do that. It seems like I just can make wraiths take a nap. I can cause the shivers up your spine. And one time, completely not intentionally, I was just thinking out loud, and it seemed to have crossed over.
That happens. Try not to do that.
I've
too
been
often.
very cautious not to talk around the quick.
And what
after
was
that.
And what was the reaction?
Luckily, I know the guy that was around at the time, and he's a willful sort.
Remember when I said about certain powers are overlooked?
Yeah.
Sandmen. They're the ones who can do illusion. Make things appear that aren't there. Make things visible to go with ones who sing. You may find instruction. Bird theater as well.
Oh.
They work together.
Fantastic.
While they're not the
Versus
same guild.
theater.
Birds Theater.
Birds theater. While they're not the same guild, they have close ties.
Interesting.
Not that your Anacreon is telling you guilds
Of course.
exist.
Of course. I don't know where I heard to go there. I
Alexis,
just heard
maybe
some
you and
singing and thought I'd go check it out.
Alexis, maybe you and I should not go there at some point.
We should definitely not go there at some point.
So what can the rest of you do?
I can see the strands of, I don't know, fate, of possibilities.
I can teach you. That is one that I know.
I can.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Sorry, Turk.
That's okay. I didn't thought you were finished. I can make physical objects do things that they feel like they're part of me.
You objects, not people.
Objects, yeah.
You can possess items. That's useful. That is one.
Sure.
It's funny. They all talk about what's banned and what's not banned. You would think that would be one of them banned because you are interacting with the quick. But being careful, nobody will notice you do it. They look the other way.
Right.
Is that the reason why socks go missing in the dryer?
That was the sock gnome.
I thought that was underwear.
You have lost me on this discussion.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, Sabrina. Sorry.
Modern laundry processes are now automated. There are machines that will wash and dry clothes for you.
Yes, okay.
And it never seems to fail when you put a load of laundry from the washer into the dryer that you're always missing one sock that you know you put in there.
Well, we know there's
Usually the left sock.
Usually the
might
left sock. That is
legitimately
the thing.
You'll
Fucking
find
sock gnomes.
those who can inhabit can also pull things sometimes. It's difficult. It's very punishing on those who do it, but they can draw things from the skin lands
Over.
into the shadowlands.
Interesting.
What if
Have you ever? It can't happen to me at some point. I lost a doll. I looked everywhere for it. Couldn't find it. A few hours later, I see it sitting on my desk. But I knew I'd checked there and hadn't seen it. There are those who could pull it for a few hours. Now, I'm not saying that's what happened to the doll. I'm 9. But you'll find it happens more often than you would believe.
teach me how to do that one? I need to fucking write.
I've only affected things that were directly in front of me, not things that were far away.
You generally can affect what you can see. But there is use to that. Sometimes, again, I'm encouraging the wrong thing sitting here, I know. Sometimes to protect what's important to you, you have to take actions. Sometimes the best way to protect it is to make sure it can't be found.
Understandable.
Sometimes someone needs to clean up a mess somebody else makes. You could be useful for that. we can't allow proof to be found, can we?
Right.
Sometimes you've got to clean up. You'd be amazed how many ghost hunters there are that run around trying to gather proof. And sometimes you've got to either make absurdly crazy claims that nobody will believe to hide what they found, or eliminate the evidence. Empty the
Ghost
battery.
Photoshop.
Empty the battery.
Mm-hmm.
Turn their stuff off.
Break the light.
Break the light.
Margot, if she doesn't know what a washer and dryer is, I doubt she knows what Photoshop is.
Oh, you're right. It's a program, a tool to alter images. Sorry.
Sorry.
But that's actually quite useful at times. It's also useful sometimes when you're gathering information on the quick, because though we're on this side, information's still important. If you know somebody's planning a series of murders, you know where to be to reap when they occur.
Did someone know?
What do you think Thomas was there? Why do you think the death marks were there? They knew.
How did they know?
I cannot answer that. I don't know. I did not know until I heard.
Because it was really freaking convenient how quickly. Well, we know Thomas was there because he
helped
was the instrument of the change. But the Deathmark Reapers were there so quickly.
It's their territory.
It's like they were waiting.
It is their territory. But I cannot answer that. I don't know who knew. I found out about the bomb probably shortly before your trial.
Mm.
Alexis, I know one of those, the short one.
Mort?
Could
Oh,
yeah,
no, the
yeah.
really short one.
Yeah. He could go incredibly fast. It was like every step was 100.
Yeah, but
It was-
still.
And then they knew a maelstrom was coming on top of it. Maelstroms are only caused by, huge waves of emotion, disasters.
Normally disasters, deaths. We had a one bell.
Mhm.
We experienced
Minor.
it.
Minor. One bell, they're still dangerous, but one bell is nothing major. We get those from time to time.
Five bells,
5 bells is
unbelievably destructive.
5 bells is the end of times, or at least it feels. Only, well, I've been through 3.
Great. Nuclear bombs, right?
Shit.
That was one of them.
Mm.
I know about that. We've heard a lot of talk about that. As I've said, the war against Oblivion, it can't be won. And do you know why it can't be won? Because of the quick.
And it's not a war, is it? It's a slow
As they
genocide.
get more advanced, they just find more advanced ways to kill each other and to hurt each other.
I do not know what the lady plans for us. I do not know what the end is. But I do know we hold what we can, preserve what we can for as long as we can. Because there is either being or not being.
Is it possible to talk? It's going to sound silly. It's like asking to talk to a king or a queen or a monarch, but is it possible to talk to the Lady of Fate? Even for you? Or does it work like that
I've
at all?
seen her once, long ago. She lives in Stygia,
What is Stygia like?
a city packed with more spirits than you'd imagine, wall to wall. There's more spirits than there is in Richmond, the Quick. It has lasted millennia, and in a millennia it has grown on top of itself, buildings. Sometimes things are destroyed in the Skinlands and they wash up on the shores and they build houses out of it until it fades. And then they find something new to build. So it's a city that's been built on top of itself, cobbled together.
Sort of a ship of Theseus.
It was... I saw things I recognized from my youth there. Things that I was told was Roman, Greek. All cobbled together in one spot to build a city. Some of it, the most cherished items, of course, are built with bricks.
And those don't fade.
Oh no. But they do moan.
They're made of people.
Yep.
Sharon's tower is built not of people. It's built of a stone he took from the labyrinth. Most things are built from souls. Or found and scavenged, and they may last a year, 10 years, 50 years, depends on how much they're still attached to those who are alive. But the only durable items are made from us.
So the way you explained it, where you basically have these layers of the onion, and it's like basically planes of existence, okay, is how I'm understanding it. So you've got the Skinlands on the outside that basically covers everything. Then you've got where we are. This is the Shadowlands. Okay. Being that we're so close to the Skinlands, like these fetters we have are close to us. If we go to Stygia, are we further removed from what's important to us?
Oh, yes. And you can feel them. They tug at you. They pull you back here. But to lose them all, if you lose everything that binds you to the Skinlands, you will find you cannot return to the Skinlands, at least not for long. It is why you'll notice you've heard of these ferrymen. No one tells you they see them wandering the Skinlands or the Shadowlands.
They've lost everything.
They have no fetters. Charon was the first to discover this. He spent so long building Stygia when he came back to the Shadowlands to see how the quick had evolved and how they'd changed. And he got here and found himself drawn back into the Tempest. Because everything that was important to him...
Had nothing to anchor him.
Everything that was important was gone. The older you are, the harder it is to stay. You'll notice I am 300 years old. Daniel's is less than that. You won't find many much older than I am, actually. How few items survive that long. And were what is important to me destroyed, I would leave as well. And I would have to set up residence in Stygia. And a new Anacreon would be selected. And you see, there's where the power plays come in.
Yeah.
Because you have a limited time that you can stay here before you lose what's important.
Yeah.
But if you go to Stygia as a nothing, you stay as a nothing.
How old is Daniel?
He died shortly after the Civil War.
Can you make new things important to you in the Skinlands?
It's very difficult. How can you make something that important when you no longer are there? You can tell yourself it's important. But is it really? This shirt's important to me. It says Ghostbusters. I love my shirt. But it's on this side.
Mm-hmm.
It's tangible. I can feel it. But if it was over there, it's another object I can't touch. I can't feel. I can't smell. I can't interact with.
Unless you had an ability that allowed you to touch them, interact with them.
That can't be true. That cannot be true.
And why not?
every day I sense where my wife is. You can't, and my wife, she's pregnant with my children. You cannot tell me that when those kids are born that I'm not going to be bound to them.
You're correct. But how about when their kids are born, and their kids, and their kids, and their kids? Each time they are born and new ones are born, the attachment is less. And one day, those you cared about will be dead. And the attachment of those who remain of your blood is not strong enough. And you will be no longer in the skin or in the Shadowlands. You will go where all of us go when the time comes. If you put stock in a house, what happens? The house burns down. It is gone. You lose it. What happens to those who are real old? Rome, the Colosseum. I once met a guy, fought in the Colosseum. I said, well, why are you still there? I've heard the Colosseum exists in the Skinlands. And he said, it's not the Colosseum I knew. It's not the same.
Now.
Now you
my
see.
Family, they're not here. How am I to protect them when I'm so far away?
That is for you to find out. I'm going to say something I shouldn't, because we have to keep what we can. There are times when you will be forced to do things to those you care about in the Skinlands to protect them or to be able to watch over them. Though the powers are banned and you should not use your abilities, we all have. We've all moved things we care about to safe places. And if that safe place happens to be moving from one city to another, or moving from a dangerous part of town to a safe part of town, you do what you have to. Just like if the safety is turning you into a coin, I will do what I have to. We all do what we have to survive and to endure.
I agree.
Do not forget that lesson. If I can teach you nothing else about fate, is while it's fate, as you saw, sometimes you have to take a hand in it. I'm not as like my mother, who accepts everything as fate and feels you should not change it. No. Fate is possibility, not set. Mother and I argued for years about this is what fate decrees, this must be done. But if that's the case, how come you died on the train where you did? Fate is possibility.
Valuable.
There wouldn't be a Legion of Fate if everyone died how they're supposed to be.
Exactly. There would not be chance. And there would be no need for a Lady Fate now, would there?
No.
Mother was always too rigid in her thought. Which is why I suggested that she had outgrown the city and should move.
You also had a slight advantage in your death compared to hers. She died as a grown woman of her time.
Mm-hmm.
You were still a child, and you had a child's curiosity.
And I played a power game like the rest of them. I convinced her to step down because she was a threat to the others. And in so doing, I took over. We all play our power games. For Mother, it was fate. For me,
machination.
It was because she was too rigid. We have to teach the new ones and those who follow fate that you can't accept. Accepting everything as the way it should be leads to oblivion.
Damn right.
The shadow will win if you just let everything happen. So if you have someone you care about and they're not nearby, do what you can to bring them near you, or go to them. But if you go to them, you'll be alone.
It's dangerous.
And our society is not built on survival of those who are alone. We are still what we are. We hunt each other. Your shadow will drive you to be alone. Shadow will push you, will betray you. You need those you can trust. For me, I trust the Legion. Daniel, Spectra, Elizabeth.
What do you think about old Amos? There was something odd about him.
Old Moses.
Old Moses. Sorry.
Oh, Moses. What I will say about old Moses. "50 years ago, there was no old Moses. Now, where he came from, how he got here. He stumbled in from a knee hill. His name was Old Moses. Kicked in the head is what he told us. Prior to that, there was no Old Moses in Richmond. So who and what he is, I do not know."
Because when he was leaving the room, I just happened to just for a split second notice just sort of a look of malevolence.
Somebody had to backstab us, I'm sure. Or backstab other people.
We all have that dark side.
But this was much different than the others we've seen.
Are you different from Aurora?
Oh, of
From
course.
Noah? Well, your shadow is just as different
Could have been your
Compared
shadow
to
fucking
hers.
with you.
compared to Noah's. Compared to our lost child that's wandering around. Isaac.
Hmm.
I was told he's Itzhak, and then you called him Isaac, but that's what Emma told me. But
We need to...
mu-
Sorry.
yes, much like you're all different, so is your shadow. Now, we have sat here for way too long. I understand you're new and you need to learn these things, and it's important to learn these
We
things.
don't need to learn it all in one night.
That's correct.
Yes.
If you have a place to go, you can go there. You could go to your own respective houses. That's fine. You can go to one of your houses. You're free to stand here. It is totally up to you. But we are going to have to, once it's at some point tomorrow, if we don't see your friend, we're going to have to try to find out what happened to him because I'm responsible. And if he's running around causing problems, while they
No,
can't
we're
punish
always-
me and send me to the forge,
They can send all of us to the
and they
forge.
can make my life rather uncomfortable and do rather horrible things to frustrate me.
Then we'd better make sure everything's okay.
If they want to send me to the forge, of course, they would have to send back to Stygia. Only the Lady Fate or one of the other Death Lords can do this.
Right.
And we're going to have to eventually find you some masks.
Masks.
Yeah, you should have a mask. I have one that's...
Does everyone have a mask?
Most do, yes. I don't know where I put... Oh, no, I know where my... I have a mask as well.
What kind of mask? Like a
Why?
masquerade mask?
Kind of. It's actually...
Full face.
It's pretty nice. It's it wraps around here, and it's black on one side, white on the other side, to show the duality of the fate.
I'll create one.
And I've got it put away right now. It's somewhere safe.
Something like this?
It's an object. It's not like your armor. It is a actual object.
Well, that's no fun.
Does it moan?
Mine does, as do all the other
That's sick.
Anacreons. But you will find that most do not. Most are made from things that have made their way over here, reshaped, altered, changed.
Do they degrade?
Oh, parts of it, eventually, what they're made from fades.
Yeah.
And then you have to get a new one or you get it fixed. And that's just, you will learn to deal with that, just like your clothes will fade.
Yep.
one day my Ghostbuster shirt will fade.
Okay.
And I'll have to find a new one. It is the way it is. And you'll accept it, or you won't. Either way. But
Okay. Well, thank you, Anacreon.
so, would you like to stay here? You are free to stay here, of course. But if you leave, you do need to hurry back here, and you need to find your way back here in the morning. Of course, you could also just explore a bit. If you explore, please stick together. Even if you're going home, there's where the problem becomes. You don't know the safe areas on our side as much.
Mm-mm.
So to go individual homes, you may split up a bit. You are, of course, the guild hall is always open too.
Yeah.
2 members
Where's
of the
this,
Legion.
this Smith? Matthew, I think you said his name was.
The Smith? Zach.
Yeah.
Zach.
Zach.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He is not one of ours. He is actually a member of the Emerald Legion. But
He was the guy to talk to about all this stuff.
yeah, he may be able to help you quite a bit with it.
But should we talk to Spectra first?
You probably should. You need to give her an idea of let her get you into the roles, your skills. And then she will pass that information, of course, over to Daniel, my marshal, or the marshal for you, of course. I have a few marshals.
Mm-hmm.
And then he will decide what to do with you. Like I said, I let him manage the new ones, and he will make sure you have proper tutors. You're properly taught. He'll assign you something to do. I consider
Did Miss sorry, I keep wanting to call her Lawyer Barbie. Miss Mead, did she give you details that we gave her on what we've are skilled in?
No.
Convenient.
She doesn't work for me.
I know, but
She's like that. I'm used to it. We'll find out.
yeah. Okay.
But we do need to find your friend first, because he needs to be added to the list as well. And I need to know what he can do other than apparently get lost and slip away during a street fight.
Yeah, he's good at that.
He
What,
is
what
very
time
good at
should we-
slipping away.
He's done that before.
Oh yeah.
What time should we be back? Is there a specific time?
I mean,
we can still see clocks.
you can see
right?
clocks, but time is relative to us. But
Daylight.
10 maybe-ish. Because
10 a.m.
like I said, we do most of the day. Every guild does things at different times. We do ours during the day because this place is deserted during the day. And that way we can let people at night go about and do things that they want to do at night. Even though the nightlife is busier, large parts of the cities is calmed down at night, most of the office buildings. And that way they can conduct whatever business. You'll find the market sets up at night normally. When places are closed, that's when the market is, so that they're not constantly having people go through them. And I mean, it's not a big hassle, but it's uncomfortable.
One other question real quick. What are things we can do in our free time to earn some OBI?
Most of the time, keeping track of important things to people. Finding objects. You'll be amazed. Things that make it from the other side into our side, as you saw by the bits and pieces building up in the room. Stuff is constantly coming over to our side. Sometimes you can find some of it. You may find a stuffed animal. There's lots of those. They're not worth anything. But you could find a t-shirt, a shoe. If you find any liquor, you'll find that liquor's rather valuable. There's lots of things like that. Relic hunting.
You can get consumable stuff, stuff we can like drink.
No,
right.
If you have a cherished bottle of whiskey given to you by your grandfather, and the bottle gets knocked off the counter and busts, was it cherished? You may find it on this side until it gets drank.
Oh, it might be a fucking chance then. Oh God.
Anything that is important that gets destroyed could be here. I actually once saw, I don't understand the fascination with it. A guy was killed driving his car. Called it a Cobra. And he drove it on this side for quite a while.
Oh, I bet he loved that car.
Until it disappeared. I've even heard rumors down in Atlanta, there's a hearse that randomly goes through the streets, running down Wraiths. Nobody knows who drives it. It
what
drives.
A bastard. How much is something like a lighter worth?
Depends on what it can do, but you can get some for it.
Let's say it can make barrow flame.
Oh. That would be quite valuable. And I would not let anyone know you have it.
Yeah.
They will take it. I'm surprised they didn't find it in the when you were locked away.
They did not actually search us.
Oh, you.
We came willingly and weren't even chained.
Are they going to look under my armor?
That Reverend.
Attached to me.
Oh, they could have.
They probably could have.
The Reverend is...
Seems like a decent sort.
He didn't like his orders, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Seemed like an alright guy. So.
He is.
Good. Side needs more of that.
It does.
A lot more.
If we want a renaissance, it does.
Yeah.
But I've talked long enough, and I've got to go do some other things.
Of course.
And
yes,
frankly, you're killing my child image because I'm only 9.
Of course.
Of course.
Thank you so much, Sabrina. I know I got heated at some points, but I appreciate the info.
You have a lot to learn.
Yeah.
And
a lot to learn.
We don't have to learn it all tonight, but you needed to know the basics of what you're dealing with and
what can keep us as safe as possible right now.
And the challenges. And the stakes you play for. Being or not being. Mm-hmm. Those are the only 2 choices. Every day, wake up or not wake up. It's up to you. Make your decision, being or not being. We do what we have to be.
And we will be.
That's right.
I'm going to my place. Anyone want to come? Don't necessarily want to go alone, but keep an eye out for Isaac while I'm walking. It's about 30 or so blocks from here.
Tark, you said you were going to your place?
Mm-hmm.
I'll go with you. Maybe we shouldn't go alone.
Tark and Noah are going to go to his place. Aurora's planning to go her, Alexis and Margot.
I wouldn't blame you for going back to y'all's places. So. It's all right. I can defend myself. I'm worried about y'all.
I think I'll just stay here.
You sure?
Yeah. I need a moment alone. Haven't had one yet.
That you haven't. None of y'all have.
All right. I understand. And Margot, what about you?
I don't feel right going home. I mean, it's Christmas and...
Seeing him through the veil ain't quite as good.
It's not what I want to see right now.
Bittersweet, but I'm not giving up that opportunity. My son got some good presents, okay? I'm gonna see him with them damn presents.
So where does Margot go?
There's a place not too far.
Okay.
That I can go to.
So Alexis stays here at the building. That is relatively quiet at this time of night. To give her that time alone she wants. Aurora goes to her house through the city. Of all this circle, she is the armored who you did get rid of your weapon hand because you went back to a broom and then back to normal, but you are the one armored that is probably least likely to get jumped. Margot finds a place nearby, and Tark and Noah return, though Noah didn't realize it, to a place called Church Hill, which is where Tark's family house is. And it's also where, as you were told, the Tombstone Gang hangs out. And as Tark goes in the house and Noah...
Give me a sec. I need a second.
Sure. Okay.
Is there a bench or anywhere I can just sit for a bit?
The house has been in his family for quite a while, so it is an old style. Well, it's like a farmhouse with the wraparound porch and everything. So there's benches not only on the porch, but there's benches out front.
Yeah, Noah's just going to go sit for a minute. Sorry. He's going to pull out the flask, just kind of shake it. Is it still full?
Yep. Still got liquor in it.
Yeah, just going to think about what was said with just what he heard about when he sensed where his wife was, that he's not close to him compared to some of the other people here. He's just trying to compose himself, and some of that keening energy comes out. And I heard there was a secret chord David played and it pleased the Lord. You don't really care for music, do you? It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift. Baffled king composing. Hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah.
And somewhere in a city not Richmond is a wife on the couch crying as she watches your wedding video. And this is where we end this episode. Thank you to the players. We were notified short term that Isaac would not be here, but we still could play without him, though he's in for it. What did he wander off for? What drew his attention? The viewer vote this week goes to, I know Alexis there. My wife had counted it up. Who got the viewer vote this week?
That was Noah.
Noah, you get the viewer vote. Viewers, please pop to the Discord. Give us your viewer vote this week.
And please, if you have watched, go to Discord and vote. Only 5 people voted. Y'all got to vote.
We had 22 viewers average, but 5 people voted. Come on, come vote.
Seriously.
Here's the thing about the voting. The players love it because it lets the players know that what they were doing is engaging and it's an enjoyable story. So please, come give your viewer vote.
It's how you give feedback.
Yep. Discord's right over here. Now, everyone gets 1 for playing and 1 for role play. And now we got to figure out who gets the learning everything vote. Who should we start with first this week? Tark. I did Tark first last time, didn't I? Damn it.
Yeah.
Okay. Alexis, what did you learn? That's a good sign.
Games within games, plots within plots, plans within plans, and it's just the bullshit is thick up in this joint, but it's even worse in Stygia, so there's no way Alexis is going to want to go there.
That's true. You talk about plans within plans. I'm not going to comment yet. I'll wait till everyone says anything, but I have a comment on that. Noah, what did you learn?
I mean, this was just kind of the learning episode.
You needed one of those, though, because
your characters. We learned,
right.
We learned what we can and can't do. We learned where to stay. Like I said, I don't want to take too much and take away from other stuff. But yeah, we learned. Yes, we learned lots of things.
You needed to, because as you've all been pointing out, you haven't been told shit.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And apparently wraiths can fuck.
Yeah.
But nobody asked Sabrina about that.
That can come up next time we talk to her.
Is it because she's 9?
Let's ask this.
Yeah, it's a little weird. It's like, yeah.
That'll be a question to Daniel.
Yeah, let's be real. That's what we're going to.
And
So Sabrina said something about, Ray's fucking. Is that a thing?
When
Do
it's
y'all
funny,
fuck?
right? It's funny you bring it up like that, but even though you know mentally that she's
She's
a lot older than 9,
300 years old.
there
but
is still that part of you that's newly dead that still can't
sees
separate
the 9-year-old, right?
because it's a new concept for you. Margot, what did you learn?
Fetters are very precious. Fetters are a thing to keep us tied here. And that means Margot's got to get that ring to Nat. 100%.
Before he melts that bitch down.
Before he does something, because that's what's going on in Margot's head right now, is he has access to all the things that are precious.
I'm not saying your storyteller plans to have him plotting to get rid of it. I'm just saying.
Pawn shops all over Richmond. I'm just saying.
This is my point. It could go away from where Margot knows where it is.
Right. And how do you find it?
If Fetter keep an eye on it.
Oh. Noah has shown he can find his fetters, but everyone else, if something happens to your fetter, if it moves.
Right. I don't know if his power works for other people's or not. So
I know Margot's gonna ask
Mhm.
next time.
So, Tark, what did you learn?
Well, the inhabit power, Alette, from Sabrina saying that you can draw objects from the Skinlands over, which could be used to save some fetters.
Or will it?
Or will it?
Try them.
Yeah, ask Noah about fetters brought onto this side.
Yeah, it's a good question. If it, does it break them when you try doing that? And we also learned about a little bit about the topography of, how the Shadowlands and Stygia kind of overlap. The whole onion theory.
It's tough to, as a storyteller, sometimes it's tough to really grasp the metaphysical layers of this game. And we didn't even go into the rest of the stuff that goes with it, like the Umber and the shit that the werewolves follow and all that crazy stuff. So, Aurora?
Fuck. She learned a lot. She learned that there's only rumors that anyone had ever really gotten back to the other side, and getting back to the other side is weird, and you're technically still dead, and your shadow gets way more powerful over there, so she needs to be really careful. And she learned that the way fetters work and how they can be related, and that it is technically possible to build a new fetter, but it is very difficult. And she learned that she is going to have to be a fucking learning machine because she doesn't want to accept what this is, and her shadow keeps pushing her towards that for good or ill. She doesn't want to accept it either.
But when you're finally offered the chance, no matter how much of abomination you've been told, are any one of us here strong enough to avoid that offer if it gets laid on you?
yes.
Not a chance.
Well, Alexis is what she always has been. An FBI director, intensely logical about that.
Very analytical.
But-
and it's like, no, you don't want to fuck up your loved ones like that.
But I think there's more than one player here that, if the chance came, might take it.
Mm.
And talk about plans within plans. Sabrina flat out said that she was the one who convinced her mother
Mhm.
to leave so she could take over.
Oh, yeah.
And that comes back to something Noah said last episode, that he felt that Sabrina would be like, if fate decrees it.
No, not really.
Not really. She's not her mother.
Exactly.
Mm-mm.
That's why Roar kept going over and over about, like, no fucking fate. If we can change fate, maybe we can change this. Her mind's alight with possibility.
So everyone gets, of course, the learning XP, which leads us now to the player votes. Player vote, player vote, player vote. Who's going to go first? Let me see. I'm going to roll a die if I don't throw it in the floor. I'm going to roll one I don't throw in the floor. Aurora, you're first.
All right. Fuck, there was some good ones. I really liked my shadow was needling me really, really well. And Noah was doing good too, so I'm going to give it to Noah.
Okay. Torque?
I would give it to Noah for the keening at the end, like the song.
His damn singing again. Look at that.
His singing gets.
Like I said, I'm not fishing for stuff. I promise. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
No, but I liked it.
It's lovely.
Whatever.
Destroyer.
Alexis, your vote?
My vote goes to Noah for his reaction to when I filled up his flask. That was perfect and just yummy.
Yeah.
And it's going to stay full until you drink it to remind you every time. Pour it out all you want. Like the eternal monkey on your
Best
back.
damn angst I ever spent.
Like the eternal monkey on your back. It will stay on your back till it gets drank.
Yeah.
Noah, your vote?
I am so torn for very kind of similar reasons, like between Aurora for her reactions to the shadow stuff, but I think I'm going to have to reciprocate and give it to Alexis for the flask stuff.
The
Like,
flask.
she said nothing, but that affected that punched me in the gut so much. I would be mad if I didn't reciprocate.
You gotta watch out.
So, like, Alexis.
Your shadow is sneaky.
Oh yes, that was great. I love that. I mean, Noah did. Dan loved it.
It was very quiet.
So that leaves Margot.
It's going to Aurora. The reaction was so freaking visceral there. But there's got to be a way.
Yeah.
I really felt it.
We got 3 for Noah, 1 Aurora, 1 Alexis. Noah, Alexis, and Aurora.
Thank you.
All 3 of you get it. This was, in a lot of ways, an info dump episode, but it was a lot of role play. But it was needed because your characters needed this. You can't keep going forward not knowing what to do. And if you don't have a discussion like this, and as storyteller, I'd like to say, yes, we could have done this learning off screen and not had you watch it. But as a viewer, you wouldn't know. And it goes to show the effects of being dead, what it's had on Sabrina. And remember, in the world of darkness, everything from myth and legend has a basis somewhere.
And she has become a very pragmatic and hardened 9-year-old.
Yes, she has. Everything from legend has a place somewhere. The Fae, the werewolves, mages, vampires, demons, all of this. Even Frankenstein in the world of darkness has a place. And for those who
I love the dichotomy. I just love the dichotomy between like an Aurora shadow who's just in her face constantly, and then a Noah shadow who does the same thing without saying a word. Like that's what's great about this game is that you can have so many different styles and get to the same result, and it's fantastic.
And all of them pushing you the same way. They want to break you. As Sabrina said, it doesn't matter what they're doing as long as they get a reaction of some kind. You are feeding them, whether they get angst from it or not. You are feeding what the shadow is, which is a slow breakdown of your will to fight them. And that is, I think, the big lesson of Wraith, is that you're fighting yourself for that slow breakdown. You'll have moments of triumph, you'll have moments of defeat, but in the end, you still have that voice whispering or plotting, whether they talk or not. Noah Shadow, plotting to undo you. So, if you like what we're doing, of course, give us a follow here on Twitch. Give us a subscribe. Pop over YouTube. Subscribe over there. Cool stuff. Check out our YouTube. Since I mentioned it, YouTube's over there. Join us on the Discord. Seriously. You got any questions about the game you want to ask? You can ask it in our Discord too. Or wait until we do a Q&A. Either way, it's great. We love doing both. Check out our friends over here. We got lots of friends. People that do great content. Sylvanov Saturday nights. Ravnos Archon, unfortunately, his streams, he seems to schedule all of his streams when we're either recording or we're already streaming, but that's the way it is. Ravnos Archon is a great member of our community and we like him. He's also going to be in that werewolf game coming up that is on Artemis's channel, which will be added to our friends soon because once she starts streaming. I'll let Relyn handle anything else that's coming up.
Yep, what's coming up this weekend, we actually on Saturday are not having our Ishfel stream. They are going to take a little 2-week break. And on Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern, we have Windy City Season 2 premiere at, like I said, 5 p.m. Eastern on Sunday the 21st.
Coming back to Vampire.
Yeah. Going to Chicago with the vampires. And then on the 22nd, Monday, we have Tamshu running Stuffed over on the Onyx Path Twitch channel. That is a Hunter the Vigil 2E game. It's fantastic. You should go check that out. And that is at 8 p.m. Eastern. We will be hosting it here, so if you end up forgetting it's over at Onyx Path and launch on our site, you can click over to see it on Onyx Path from us. On Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, Tam will be running Darker Waters on this channel, which is our seventh sea
naval adventure.
It's not really a pirate game. It's more of a naval adventure. And that's
naval horror.
Yeah, naval horror, because there's like krakens and stuff. It's fantastic. So that's at 8 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday. And then, of course, on Wednesday is the next episode. It'll be the halfway point of the season 2
already. Of season 2
already
at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Does it seem like we're already? This is episode 4, everybody.
Yeah.
And, Wraith is a dark game. Not every episode is dark. This one didn't go as dark until the end. But you've got to remember that the world is a living, breathing place, and you have families that are mourning you.
Yeah.
And in the case of Noah, who wants to invoke things to check his fetters, every time he does that, he's going to probably get a feels punch because the wound is raw and he's picking at the scar.
So glad Alexis doesn't have that power.
Seriously.
She does not need that push over the edge, okay?
And from McStabber Studios.
It was.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I would say it was just. I think the enlightening thing for all of us is that this whole world feeds on emotions, and be sad, whatnot. Like things are going to get heightened, whether it's by your shadow, your fetters, whatever. And I think we all do a great job playing into that. So just a round of applause to everyone at the table.
You.
Round of applause. And from McStabber Studios, I'd like to say mental health is no joking matter. It's a very serious subject. Reach out to your friends, your family, your loved ones, even people you don't like. Check in on them. Make sure they're okay. Do not assume people are okay because odds are they're not. And if you are someone who suffers from mental health issues, do not be afraid to reach out and speak to somebody. There's nothing wrong with admitting that you're having trouble coping or having trouble managing because we are all people. And as Wraith will show you, we're tied to others. We have our fetters. We have emotions that matter. And you've got to maintain that. And sometimes you need to have help with it and you need to reach out.
And like Alexis, taking some time for herself because she's been around her circle for days now with no time to really process her feelings. Taking care of yourself is never a bad thing. You have to take care of yourself so you can take care of others.
That's correct. So from McStabber Studios and the McStabber community as a whole, thank you. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
And Tam,
Good night.
You're screwed next episode. Just saying.
Miss you now.
All right, Tam.
Miss you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.